A grand design to spruce up your home and renovate your portfolio? Furnishing profits and letting investors in on high-end trends. Is RH the stock to give your portfolio a classy edge?
Oh, it's been a fabulous couple of weeks for RH, the luxury home furnishings brand. I have to mention this, formerly known as Restoration Hardware. Soon I won't say that. Last week, the company reported a magnificent quarter. This sent stock up more than 25%. These guys spent years investing heavily in the business correctly, preparing for the moment when the Fed would cut interest rates, kick everything, housing into overdrive, which we've been waiting for. So the double rate cut on Wednesday was actually huge for RH. And remember, the business was already picking up before the Fed did this thing. But don't take it from me. We have a treat. Let's check in with Gary Friedman. He's the visionary chairman and CEO of RH. You better read of the situation. Gary, first of all, I want to congratulate you. You kept spending during the downturn, so when it turned up, you had the right merchandise and therefore the right profits. And it looks like, as you say, the vector size, the margins, everything's inflecting in the right direction for you.
Well, Jim, we say, look, there's no big rewards without big bets. And we like to think deeply about making a few big moves. We've been working on this product transformation and platform expansion unveiling, and it's been a big investment. We also bought $2.2 billion worth of our stock back. We wouldn't do that unless we had a lot of confidence about what was coming. And while we can't control the interest rates or the housing market, it is a good sign to see a beginning of the easing.
Now, you've been calling this the most challenging housing market in 3 decades, and yet you still bought back a lot of stock. Is that a bet on Gary and his team?
Well, we only bet on ourselves, so we don't really make investments anywhere else. But we don't make investments of that size without a lot of thought or a lot of confidence. And history would prove. I mean, let's see, we just bought back 35% of the outstanding shares this time. In 2017, we bought back, I think, $1 billion something of our stock. And, since 2017, we bought back $3.75 billion of our stock.
Incredible.
And, history would prove that we're generally directionally right, when we make bets of that size. And so are we excited? We couldn't be more excited.
Well, that month of August was terrific, and I believe that September is continuing to be great.
Yeah. No, well, we've said that our business accelerated throughout the second quarter, ending July with up 10%, accelerated into the third quarter with August up 12%, and we expect it to continue to inflect positive throughout this year and into next year.
Now, you've got a lot of things that I find hard to describe. For instance, I can't call you stores. I don't think I can call you galleries. If you have a 90,000 square foot property in Newport Beach overlooking the ocean with bars, 2 bars, and I said to myself, what is it? How do I analogize? And the answer is, what's so great? There is none, is there?
Well, we say you have to think until it hurts, until you can see what others can't see, so you can do what others can't do. And if you want to be the best in the world, you can't be a follower. You have to be a leader. And that's sometimes a little confounding to people, especially if you're in the public markets, because people, tend to like duplication or not innovation. But you have to, if you want to lead, you have to innovate and you have to take risks. But again, history would prove, all of these bets and all of these galleries that we've done are highly incremental and highly profitable. So it comes from really deep thinking and not, any kind of, quick decision making. We've been at this. I've been here as a CEO for 24 years. Right. So it's, we're not making this up. It's a lot of data, a lot of deep thinking, connecting a lot of dots, and be willing to place a few big bets that can change everything.
Well, I think that the data is something that really infuses you. I'll give you an example. I've been to Raleigh. I would not have thought that it could sustain a 50,000 square foot RH. But you've got data. Now, you know that there are cities like Raleigh that we, say, in New York are so parochial, we wouldn't know. That can be a tremendous store, can't it?
Well, we're already there. I mean, that's the good news. Almost every market that we're opening these larger, more immersive, inspiring galleries. We have the data on almost every market. I mean, I think one of the first ones we're doing, we don't have data, is Montreal, but we know Canada. We're in Vancouver. We're in Toronto, and so on and so forth. So we have data. We've been at this a long time. And it's about understanding the math, connecting the dots, conceptualizing new and bigger and better versions of ourselves. And somewhere like Raleigh, we know the volume we do in Raleigh. We know when we open up a new gallery what the lift is. We know when we open a restaurant in a market like Raleigh, what's the restaurant volume we do. We know what the incremental traffic that the restaurant drives is also going to drive incremental revenue in the gallery. So, and all of that's, it takes time. We opened our first restaurant in 2015. We have 22 restaurants today. So we have a real restaurant platform, too, that creates traffic and, consumer awareness.
Now, Europe really gets you instantly, don't they? Every place you open, I know London's a little further than you thought, but when you open, people, do they know it's American? Do they understand? Because it doesn't seem to be what we think of as what we make. You appeal to, I'd say, a well-off group everywhere, but also to their artistry, to the belief that Picasso was right. You got to destroy it to make, and it works in Europe almost perfectly. Yeah,
well, look, Europe, like any new market, new country, do we have some brand recognition there amongst designers and certain customers? Of course we do, but it's going to take time for Europe to scale and become known the way it's known in America. And I tell everybody that the time to really focus on Europe is when we open London, Paris, and Milan. Those are the three key cities to build the brand. And we open Paris next spring. We open London in the late fall, and we open Milan in 26.
Wow, that's a big rollout.
Yeah, and those all have, those are meaningful galleries, integrated restaurants, wine bars, the whole experience. And so we haven't opened that yet. When we opened in the English countryside, 17th century estate, 73 acres, but we said, look, that was more for conversation than commerce. Right. And we wanted to make an impression, an inspiring and unforgettable first impression in Europe, as I think we did. But we're going to know a lot more over the next 18 months.
Now, are you concerned about tariffs and what it will mean for a person who's on the edge and trying to figure out whether they should reach for RH, of which, by the way, I know this is hard for people who are not regular shoppers of RH, but you're actually reasonable for the incredibly beautiful stuff that you make. You're not outrageous, but tariffs can make you be outrageous.
I don't know if tariffs, are an obstacle that are that difficult to overcome. Supply chases demand. We're really good at creating demand.
Right.
Supply, will move to appropriate places and countries. When the tariffs went up, we moved a significant part of our upholstery business, sofas and sectionals and things, back to America. We're now the biggest importer of Italian sofas in America, and we have our own factory in North Carolina making sofas. And so you have to be flexible. You have to be fast. There's always going to be obstacles like that. They're going to be obstacles for everybody. And so you just have to be faster, smarter, more creative, and taking lemons and turning them into lemonade. Right. Yeah.
Now, Gary, you don't do it the way others do, which is why we love you, frankly. And one of the things that I thought you pointed out was that you have a great take on society. For instance, you said that why do people pay a bunch of strangers, influencers, to say they love your brand on TikTok? I mean, we all are phony. Something happened. What happened to make it so that absurd things like that actually have some cogency?
Look, we're in a world where there's an explosion of social media. There's, the digital visualization and connectivity is real. But the great brands that stand the test of time, they earn it, right? And they tell the truth. And having fake fans and people you pay to talk about you on Instagram or TikTok or whatnot, it's not the truth. Like, we don't have a marketing department. We have a truth group in our company. And I tell everybody, like, look, if people aren't talking about us, if people aren't interested in our brand, don't go pay them to talk about us. Let's do better work. Let's do inspiring work and let the world talk about us. So we don't have an Instagram account. We don't have a Pinterest account. We're, not on TikTok or any of these, yet, we're the most Instagram brand of our kind in the world. We're the most pinned brand of our kind in the world because we're doing work that other people are talking about. So the key is, where do you want to focus your time and your money? I don't want to sit here and think about what pictures are we going to put up on Instagram next week. Let's talk about the product. Let's talk about the platform. Let's talk about creating authentic connections with consumers, and let's just tell the truth. Okay? Let's not let somebody else that we don't really know make things up. Somebody who's talking about 100 brands being paid to, get up there and unbox something, for God's sake. I mean, it's a different world. And again, you can't be a leader if you follow the crowd. You have to, take the path, the road less traveled, and you have to define your brand your way, and not try to let somebody who's trying to define hundreds of brands also define yours.
Well, you're the only one I know doing that, but let me ask you a final question. What happens to people who underestimate the power of a few good people who don't know what can't be done?
There's something about persistence and passion and deep belief in what you do that is sometimes not understand. It's tough to understand from other people who maybe don't have something like that they feel that deeply about. I mean, we say, a lot of people say, oh, you're a lifestyle brand. I say, look, I don't even know what a lifestyle brand means, but we are a love style brand. We do what we love with people that we love for people that love what we do. It's that simple. And we're passionate about it. We will move mountains. We will march through hell for a heavenly cause in our organization. And it takes that kind of effort. And it's sometimes not understood. And if you want to do really great work, it's not work that somebody else has done. So you have to believe what hasn't been done. And you never want to bet against those kind of people. You're usually going to be wrong.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. That's Gary Friedman. He's the chairman and CEO of RH. They've inflected. The numbers are getting better and better, and Mad Money's back after the break.
Coming up, Cramer's West Coast trip continues with a longtime favorite. Keep it here for a high-octane sit-down. Next.
Don't miss a second of Mad Money. Follow @Jim Cramer on X. Have a question? Tweet Cramer. #MadMentions. Send Jim an email to madmoney@cnbc.com or give us a call at 1-800-743-CNBC. Miss something? Head to madmoney.cnbc.com.